deep the rabbit hole of scams on YouTube goes? The world of YouTube is vast and filled with all sorts of content. From adorable cat videos to informative how-to guides, YouTube has something for everyone. But as with any platform that reaches millions, it's not immune to the darker side of human nature: scams. Let's talk about YouTube scams. They come in all shapes and sizes, from the seemingly harmless to the downright dangerous. Some scammers prey on the goodwill of viewers, using crowdfunding to solicit donations for fake causes or non-existent projects. Others use the platform to perpetuate grifting and blackmail, spinning intricate webs of lies and deceit to ensnare the unsuspecting viewer. Then there are the con artists who hide behind the guise of activism, shouting about their rights while picking the pockets of their audience. They create drama, stir up controversy, and then capitalize on the attention they've garnered. They're experts at staying just within the boundaries of the law, always careful not to cross the line that would land them in jail. But over time, their true colors show, and the arrests start rolling in. These scams are more than just a nuisance. They're a serious problem that can lead to financial loss, emotional distress, and a general erosion of trust in the platform. They exploit the openness and accessibility of YouTube, turning its strengths into weaknesses. But there's a silver lining in this cloud of scams. The YouTube community is full of vigilant users who are committed to exposing these fraudsters. They take on the role of digital detectives, investigating and reporting on the scams, and holding these con artists accountable for their actions. YouTube scams are a complex and ever-evolving issue. They reflect the changing landscape of the internet and the ongoing struggle to maintain trust and safety in an open and accessible platform. But by shedding light on these scams and the people behind them, we can help to protect ourselves and each other from falling victim to their schemes. Let us dive into the world of YouTube scams and expose some of the biggest con artists on the platform. Josh Abraham, the man behind Accountability for All, a seemingly harmless channel, right? Well, let's delve into the story that unfolded. Josh Abraham was not your typical YouTuber. He had a knack for pushing the boundaries of his First Amendment rights, often finding himself in heated exchanges with police officers. His explosive confrontations were shocking. You'd think anyone else screaming in an officer's face would be swiftly arrested for disorderly conduct. But Josh, he had a way of towing the line, staying just a hair's breadth away from handcuffs. For months we watched him, curious and somewhat baffled by his audacious antics. But, as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. Josh's downfall, however, was far from expected. The man who had so skillfully eluded arrest for his confrontational behavior was eventually jailed, but not for his YouTube exploits. No, Josh Abraham was taken down for armed robbery. The irony here, though, is that his arrest seemed to inspire a wave of copycats, each trying to replicate his unique approach to challenging authority. Yet, none quite managed to capture the peculiar way Josh went about his business. His oddball style was, in a way, his unique selling point. But with Josh out of the picture, the YouTube drama didn't stop. Quite the contrary, it seemed to intensify with online feuds sparking between Accountability for All and other channels like Masshole Reports. And then, there was Glenn Serio, another character who thought he could fill Josh's shoes. But Glenn, oh Glenn, he was a different breed altogether. His tactics were less about challenging authority, and more about begging for money. His downward spiral was like a car crash you couldn't look away from, culminating in a spectacular fall from grace during a Black Lives Matter march. Josh's story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of not questioning what we see online. It's easy to be drawn into the drama, the spectacle, the apparent rebellion against authority. But let's not forget that behind the screen, there's always a real person, with real consequences for their actions. Glenn Serio, a man who took online begging to a whole new level. Now, there's a name that won't soon be forgotten in the annals of YouTube history. Glenn Serio, a man who managed to find new lows each day as he begged for money online. A man who was so outrageous, people watched him like they would a car crash, unable to look away. Serio thought he could follow in the footsteps of Josh Abraham, a fellow YouTube personality known for his confrontational videos. But unlike Abraham, Serio's approach was less about confrontation and more about manipulation. He was a master at playing the victim, using his platform to beg for money from his followers. During the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, Serio thought he'd found his golden ticket. He believed he had become untouchable, immune to criticism or consequence. But the universe has a funny way of setting things straight. Imagine the scene: a massive protest march, tensions high, emotions raw. Then, in the midst of it all, Glenn Serio gets a face full of tear gas from a young policewoman. The moment was so unexpected, so perfectly timed, that it was almost cinematic. Millions of viewers around the world could have been heard laughing in unison as Serio screamed, "My eyes, my eyes!" But the laughter quickly faded as the reality of the situation set in. Glenn Serio, the man who thought he was untouchable, was arrested. And not just once. Over time, Serio found himself in handcuffs more and more, becoming more of a menace than a martyr. He seemed to believe that his antics would earn him more money, but all they earned him was a fast track to prison. Glenn Serio's story serves as a stark reminder that even the most audacious scams can't escape justice forever. His downfall shows that the pursuit of easy money, the exploitation of people's goodwill, and the disregard for the consequences of one's actions can only lead to one place: downfall. Glenn's downfall shows that even the most audacious scams can't escape justice forever. Delete Laws, a channel that promised justice but delivered deceit. This tale begins with a grieving mother, a tragic casualty of police brutality, and a community in desperate need of help. Enter Delete Laws, the self-proclaimed hero, promising to raise funds and seek justice for the bereaved. But alas, instead of justice, what transpired was a classic case of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Delete Laws, under the guise of compassion, initiated a fundraising campaign. The community of Ironton rallied behind the grieving mother, trusting Delete Laws to honor their contributions. But as the funds began to roll in, Delete Laws took off, leaving behind a trail of betrayal and a community left to pick up the pieces. The deceit didn't end there. Delete Laws had been positioning itself as a beacon of legal wisdom, claiming to be a 20-year constitutional law scholar. A claim that, upon closer inspection, began to unravel faster than a cheap sweater. The reality was far less impressive. Their so-called legal expertise was nothing more than a hodgepodge of information gleaned from various YouTube channels. Delete Laws had never set foot in a law school, let alone studied constitutional law for 2 decades. The exposure of Delete Laws' grift was thanks to the diligent work of Masshole Reports, another YouTube channel committed to unearthing truth amidst the digital chaos. But the revelations didn't stop at grifting and false claims of expertise. Delete Laws was also discovered to be engaging in blackmail, ensnaring victims with their deceitful tactics. Delete Laws serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the dark underbelly of the digital world, where trust can be exploited, compassion can be manipulated, and the pursuit of justice can be twisted into a tool for personal gain. As we navigate the vast landscape of YouTube and the wider internet, let us remember to tread with caution, to question, to verify, and to hold accountable those who seek to deceive. Delete Laws is a prime example of how scammers can exploit trust and compassion for personal gain. So, we've delved into the dark side of YouTube and unearthed some shocking scams. We've seen how people like Josh from Accountability for All manipulated the system to avoid arrests for his outrageous behavior, only to eventually face the consequences. We've watched Glenn Serio's careless antics as he sought fame and fortune through his own brand of drama, only to find the reality of the law crashing down on him. We've also witnessed the deception of Delete Laws, who cunningly posed as a constitutional law scholar to exploit a grieving mother's trust. These are not just isolated incidents, but a pattern of behavior that unfortunately is becoming more prevalent on YouTube. These stories serve as a sobering reminder of the importance of skepticism and critical thinking when we engage with content online. While YouTube can be a platform for entertainment, education, and community, it can also be a playground for deception and manipulation. As we navigate through this digital landscape, it's crucial that we approach what we see and hear with a discerning eye and a questioning mind. Remember, The allure of fast money, instant fame, or sensational drama can be enticing, but behind it often lies a web of deceit and exploitation. As consumers of content, we must be aware of the potential harm that can come from blindly trusting what we see online. We need to be cautious of those who use the platform for personal gain at the expense of others. We must also remember that while these stories are shocking, they are not representative of the entire YouTube community. There are countless creators who use the platform responsibly, providing valuable content and fostering positive interactions. In conclusion, the key to staying safe online is to stay informed, be discerning, and question everything. The internet, including YouTube, is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or ill. It's up to us to decide how we use it and how we let it affect us. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true on YouTube, it probably is. Stay safe, stay smart, and keep questioning everything.